Welcome to BS Reviews. We're actually doing a special BS Reviews for a couple reasons. One, obviously we're all here in person. Normal BS over here.
Yeah.
But then we also have our special guest. The other sister has finally arrived.
Ooh, infamous.
we
always spoken of but never seen.
Yes. So we are all together for the first time. And we felt like it was necessary for this trilogy and this review coming to an end because we have experienced this together as a family our entire lives, and now we have come to close out this chapter of Star Wars, and we felt we needed to do this together. Now, I will preference, normally our reviews have pictures and data and stuff, and that's not going to have any of that this time.
Nope. Just blunt.
Just open, no editing at all. So if we fuck up, we fuck up. Because all my editing software is at home. So this is going to be straight, raw, real conversation, spoiler review of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. So.
And you guys didn't get any of my feedback last night, mainly because when the movie ended,
we were like,
I left immediately.
I heard you say multiple times to Kobe, like lean over and say, "I'm so mad right now. I'm so pissed off."
I'm so pissed.
We're gonna try to go through the movie, but there's gonna be times where we jump around, just like the movie jumps around, just like the trilogy jumps around. There's gonna be times when we go things out of order because we're just so, oh my god about it.
My daughter asked me how I enjoyed it, and she's like, without spoilers, I said, a famous line from Palpatine. No. that's what I got out of this. But yeah.
With our bets, we both said under. We both guessed it's predicted at 200 million, and we both said it was going to do under. And going on Friday night, opening night, at a very popular movie theater in Nashville, the movie theater was half empty.
Yeah, I was surprised about that.
On
really
opening
was.
night. So I
loved how when Star Wars popped up, the crowd starts clapping and cheering like they normally do for a Star Wars. And at the end when it finished, I heard people laughing. I loved it. Loved that moment.
Okay.
Yes. We need to go through it.
So let's start from the beginning. Now I will say I don't remember because we were going to theater and I'm like, what happened in The Last Jedi? Because I only saw it once. And I don't really remember. I was like, I think the whole movie took place in like an hour time frame, and like they had a side quest to like a gambling planet, and I was like, there wasn't much going on in The Last Jedi. And so I was like, maybe I need a review. I don't feel like I needed a review.
This movie was basically, if you skipped 8 and went straight to this one, basically I think this is like what 8 should have been.
Yeah.
But it's crammed into 8 and 9.
Exactly.
They shoved it down your fucking throat. Do you want to talk about the movie? Because
yes.
This is one of the few movies that I could say you could take a 5 to 10 minute snippet out of any point of the movie. You get a big old block. You're like, 5 minutes here. What do you think about this? It was shit. Here's why. Well, what about this 10 minutes? No, that pissed me off. That was actually kind of cute. But that just nullified the cute part. That sucks.
Yeah.
So if you want to go through the movie,
from a premise, it starts off talking about how there is a network radio signal out there of Palpatine.
Why would you do that? Why would you like be in hiding for that long and then pop up and be like, hey, by the way, universe, I'm back.
Let me give you a warning before I attack, because that's the smart thing to do.
Well, okay,
no.
devil's advocate here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Probably because he was ready for the point, because he needed... Everything was ready for him to make his move, and he still needed pieces to fall into place. He needed Kylo Ren, he needed Rey specifically to fall into place. So that's why he announced that, because everybody was looking for him now. And it starts off with Kylo Ren finding him, like, right away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Just playing devil's advocate if you guys are both gonna like.
But there was no reason for him to do, like, to straight up go to the whole world that it was.
Probably
not world, but universe or whatever, that he was alive. I mean, he could have just did it for Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
That was it. Because he said he was talking to him the whole time in every single voice.
Like
he could have just been like, hey, by the way, I'm Palpatine. Come find me here.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Okay, you're right. Fine.
And then he was
Positive Polly got nothing.
He was trying to find Rey anyways. He was like, bring me Rey. So he's like, okay. There was no reason for him to do it.
If he was the one that created Snoke in the first place, Snoke was the one that made him have that connection.
Right.
He didn't need to broadcast that to the entire fucking universe.
Right. Right.
So go ahead, keep it playing devil's advocate because you're in the
I can't
middle,
do
and
it.
regardless of being pregnant or not, we're gonna fucking trash you. Let's go.
I'm trying to play. I have a lot of issues with this movie as well. It's not one of my favorites, but trying to see all sides of it. So we get Kylo Ren meeting Palpatine in like this special location.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the Sith Lord's planet.
Land of the Siths.
Yeah, land of the Sith.
World of the Sith or
No,
whatever.
that's Korriban, the original like planet of the Sith.
Well, then
This
what-
is just an outer rim,
Okay.
like hidden fucking place.
I thought they were saying.
No, that's what it said it was. It was
Yeah.
like this was the. They said it was World of the Sith.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they even had all the statues of the Siths and everything.
Yeah, which I may be wrong, but Korriban is where the Siths. That's like the home.
Originated?
Yeah, that's like the home, and with
Okay.
those same statues. So I don't know if they turned that into Korriban,
they might have changed it.
but it's a desert world. I can log in the Old Republic video game right now, and you can start as a Sith. You know where it starts you? Fucking Korriban.
I think one of the big problems with this, and as we're talking through it, we'll see it, is it changed. J.J. Abrams wasn't the original director on this movie,
Yeah.
and it was very scattered. But no, we get them to meeting, and at first Kylo Ren is like, "I'm just gonna kill you because I can't have anybody threaten my power."
Okay.
Okay, so we're good there. No complaints.
Yeah, it
Okay.
said that. I mean, in the scroll thing at the beginning.
Okay, all right. So then we hop over to the Millennial Falcon. I don't know why you're laughing at me. I'm trying to like move us along. This is middle child here. Middle child.
Go ahead. Continue moving us along.
All right. So next we get Poe and Finn on the Millennial Falcon getting a message.
Millennial Falcon?
Shut up. Getting This is what middle child syndrome looks like, guys. This is what it looks like.
Yeah, and they're light speed jumping back and forth, back and forth,
What did
back
you
and
think?
forth.
That skipping thing.
The
The
light
skipping?
Yeah.
It may. There's a lot of things in this movie that it may be something in like the books that is possible to do, but there's a lot of the stuff that they may have grabbed that is. They may have been able to grab it for the books, but you can't do that if you say the books don't fucking exist and you have no backstory and it's never appeared in the movies before. If you had somebody like Han Solo in the original being like, light skipping can't be done, and then he does it in this one, that would be more justified than just being like, oh yeah, fucking turn it on, turn it off.
Well, then also
There's
the
a lot of
the
times
TIE
where you have to
fighters
get-
were all following them too perfectly, and I didn't know that the TIE fighters could all do that too. I thought it was just major ships.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure TIE fighters don't have light speed jumping
Yeah,
capabilities.
that's what I thought.
Okay, go ahead. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they don't.
I wasn't.
Have you ever seen one?
I was
like-
just
No.
surprised. I was like, okay, if they're doing the light speed jumping now, like the skipping, I was like, why didn't they do it in the first 8 freaking movies?
Yeah.
When you light speed jump, you're
Well, because
supposed
it's on
to have
fire at the end.
You're supposed to have planned out a path and to make sure nothing's in your way, that you don't just fucking
Yeah.
get wrecked. But they weren't just doing this through open space. It was like they'd light speed jump and be like a mile off the planet's surface or going
Yes.
through buildings and
Yes.
then immediately
Yeah.
hit it again, and there's like
Yeah.
a giant slug coming out of the smog. If you're light speed jumping, it should be dark
Yeah.
as you're jumping.
In
Maybe
space,
bank
not
around
on
a planet.
planets.
Yeah, exactly. So
I didn't
it's-
think you could light speed jump on planets. I thought you had to be in space
No, there
to
was
light speed
there
jump.
was one of the. It was the other one. Han, I think, was flying. It was when they were going to
he
the.
pulled out a light speed before
and
you
they
actually
were
got on the
right
deck.
there.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they did it in that one, but they didn't jump like skip.
I think the whole reason they did it was just because it was a cool visual effect, and that's the only reason they decided to do a light speed skip.
it was a neat visual effect, but it kind of threw my eyes every time they would change it drastically.
I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Yeah, just the two things I liked: the music and the visuals.
Yeah, the
those are the two
visuals.
things I liked about
Mhm.
this movie. In other words, you could put on a John Williams track and mute the fucking movie, and I'd have a better time with it.
All right. So we hear there's a spy in the First Order, and we get a message, and then we get back to Rebels headquarters where Rey is training and trying to connect with the actual old Jedi.
Mhm.
Like she's trying to connect with them, and she can't connect with them. She doesn't know why. Now Leia. So Leia's in the beginning part of this movie quite a bit, so more than I thought she was going to be,
Right.
actually.
Yeah.
And that's from deleted scenes. That's from editing. That's from some of it. I think they actually filmed before she passed, and then they did CGI.
CGI.
Do you think they filmed some of it after she passed?
Moving on.
Oh.
No.
Moving on. But some of it was deleted scenes as well from
It was.
Yeah. So
They
it's
did
kind of
really
just
well with
putting
that.
it
It
all
didn't
together.
feel unnatural with Leia at any point.
It didn't,
That
yeah.
was one of the good things they actually did.
I liked, and even just jumping ahead a little bit, just focusing on Leia here because she's only in the movie so much. I liked the way that her character was portrayed. I really liked the flashback of her training because one of the things that we got from The Last Jedi was her using the Force with Mary Poppins in space, and I was like, whoa! When did they didn't explain any of this? When can she use the Force? When can she when
That
did she
flashback
train?
though was her actually training with
Training
Luke,
with
but
Luke.
that's when she stopped training with Luke. And 40 years later, she knows how to marry Poppins still.
Yeah, honestly.
But
I
it doesn't
really-
mean she didn't use it for other things just
Yeah.
because she wasn't
That's
training hardcore. She could
She could still use it.
her.
So I actually enjoyed the flashback of Luke and Leia training, Force style, and I was like, can I just have that movie or like side story? Like, can I
Right.
forget the rest of this entire movie? Forget all the other characters you introduced in this whole
No.
trilogy. But I was like, I really enjoyed watching Luke and Leia for that like 5 seconds of the CGI of them young training.
Okay.
I actually really
I know. You and me were
enjoyed it.
sitting next to each other, and I was like,
It was really
this.
I felt like it was a moment that I was like, we could have gotten that.
It made me feel like have just like the original, like have that
'Cause
feeling.
We never
I
got the
love
three
the
original.
original.
We never got the 3 original back together in this trilogy, and I feel like that was such a wasted opportunity. Like, why couldn't we sprinkled in here and sprinkled in here, and I was like, no, I want all 3 of them together for just a moment, and we never got it. And part of it's because Harrison Ford wanted out. He asked
They
to have
came
his
back
character.
in this one.
He asked to have his character killed off. And I absolutely hate it, and we've talked about this before, absolutely hate it when actors make creative decisions based on their own personal feelings. Hate it.
I think Disney should have forced him to continue, regardless of his feelings, wants, and desires.
They should have
Fucking
made it
Disney.
more real. Like they should have made it more realistic. They could have slowly pulled him out, but he was like, "No, I want to be done after this one movie. I don't want to do anything else." And it just felt forced. And then, like you said, we're jumping a little bit.
We're jumping a lot. We're gonna be here for like 3 hours.
It's
Don't we
gonna
have
be
Christmas
a
thing
lot.
going?
All right,
so
fine.
let's power through this.
Fine. They did bring Harrison Ford back. When this moment happened, when Harrison Ford came back,
It was this moment. I leaned forward and looked at you.
There's,
and was
there's
like,
2 people
fucking
sitting in
called it.
between me and him, and we both leaned forward and were like, "Are you effing kidding
Called
me?"
it. Called it.
As soon as you hear that voice, like the very first moment, you
Hey,
can't even
kid.
see him yet. And I hear Kayla go, "Oh!" right next to me.
But he's not a Force ghost. He's
A memory.
a memory. The only thing I liked about that scene was it paralleled to the original scene in The Force Awakens, and Kylo Ren makes a different decision.
It's basically showing that it's just as hard to turn to the light side as it is to the dark side.
Yeah. So they were
He even used some of the same lines.
Yeah.
yes, and they were standing in the same similar positions
Yeah.
and everything. So I get why that was there, but
I would have rather have him not throw his fucking lightsaber in the ocean.
I knew that was gonna happen
I would have
though.
rather had
As
him
soon
pull
as he
out a new
was like,
Kaba crystal
I
and
have
put
to
that
make
bitch in.
make a decision to do.
Yeah.
It's hard. Will
Yeah,
you help
you
me?
said
And I
that.
was like, chuck it.
yeah.
Okay, so
And then
we-
that's what
we
he did.
jump- we're jumping.
That's fine. It was the only little piece of Harrison Ford and the only little piece of Leia. So then we can jump back into the story. Where are we at? I don't know.
So they're
We're talking about
basically
seeing Leia and her training on the planet, and that's
Yeah.
where we stopped.
we're trying to. They got the information about Palpatine. They're trying to be able to locate a Holocrux.
Yeah.
I believe they are, but they're not
Horcrux.
listed. They're not listed as what they are in this. This is mainly the movie shows that there's 2 of them, and
It's like a
the
map.
way to it's another fucking new Star Wars that is based upon finding a map.
Yep.
What did you think about the Burning Man when they went to the planet where they had the concert and party going on?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Wait, what?
The Burning Man concert? Do you know what
Oh.
Burning Man is?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's a big ass concert. in the
But
middle of
I got
desert.
that from the big ass concert. I think it was fine. I mean, didn't jump out at
And
me.
Lando arrives there when they're trying
Yep.
when they're trying
Lando
to
was
hunt down a old what was it? Not a Sith, an old.
They were looking for the ship that it wasn't. Who
It was
was
a
he?
partner of
It was where the
Luke's.
trail went
Yeah,
cold,
he
where
was a
Luke was
friend of
trying to
Luke's.
locate him because Luke was knew about Palpatine
Yep.
apparently,
Mhm.
Yep.
but yeah, and he was trying to be able to find it. So that's where they went cold. So they went there to be able to find out that information. How about they fall into a little trap, or not a trap, a sinkhole or whatever
Yeah.
it is, and there's a giant snake down there, all cut up and hurt. Rey reaches out and pulls a
Healing technique?
yep. She
Yeah.
pulls a baby Yoda on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you caught up on The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, good. I thought
No, I've seen that, but
Okay.
it's like
I
didn't expect
I
that.
did. As soon as I
As
saw it,
soon
I was
as
like,
I saw it,
oh,
I was like,
shit, here
she's
we
gonna
go.
heal the snake, and the snake's gonna let him out. It was very cliche, and I'm not a big fan of this. Like, when Yoda did it, I don't feel like I had a problem with it. Maybe it's because he's so cute, but the way that they used it multiple times through this
They used
episode,
it a lot.
3 times.
Used it 3 times.
3 times. And it's like,
Which it's never been used
it's never
in
been,
8
it's
other
never,
movies.
it's never been
Yeah.
explained.
No one's ever done it. You've never seen Yoda do it. You never saw anybody do it.
No. And so technically the first
And then
time
all of a sudden somebody was like, oh, I've been using the Force for like a few months. It's like, zing.
yeah, you basically are transferring some of your life force to somebody else.
Mhm.
And I wonder if that when you transfer that, does that like rebuild, or are you giving like, oh, here's like 10 hours of my life, let me give that to you to heal
I don't
you.
know, because they didn't seem
They
like
didn't
they were
explain
affected
it at all.
They weren't affected in any way when she did it.
No.
She did it 2 times, and she wasn't affected. She didn't seem
She
tired.
was way
or-
too fucking OP.
Yes.
It
I
was-
saw a meme actually one time of the original, and it was like, okay, so this is the pilot, this is the warrior, this is the leader, and like each person had a title, and it was like showing the original trilogy and how they balance each other out. And they showed this trilogy, and it's like, oh, I'm just standing here in the
Alright.
background, and I'm just here for comic relief, and then Ray's the leader and the warrior and the pilot, and like it's
Everything.
too much.
I didn't like the bickering in between all the friends, Poe and all that.
Oh,
it was
the
just
fun
constant
the
back
fun
and
banter.
forth. Because I mean, even with Anakin and Obi-Wan or whatever, Obi-Wan would like say something to Anakin, Anakin would kind of banter back. But it was kind of like that. It felt like a friend, like like screw you, bud. You know what you did.
I don't like.
But
I
this
was
one,
like,
they were just like, come on. Nobody had respect for one another.
Yeah.
It felt like.
No.
It was like somebody was talking, they'd overtalk him, they'd overtalk him, they'd overtalk him, and they'd just yell and then walk away and then come back and overtalk. And it starts off fucking that way.
Yeah.
What'd you do to my droid? What did you do to the ship? Why is it on fire? He looks worse. What the fuck do you care?
It just felt like the comedy, some of it felt forced. And I didn't like that. I don't like forced comedy. It needs to be more natural.
So they find the ship.
Yeah.
They find the dagger. And the dagger, C-3PO basically reads it and sees it as
It's a
an
Sith
old
dagger.
Sith lore, not Sith wording on there. And he's programmed not to be able to speak Sith, period.
Yep.
So they're like, well, we got to be able to do something about this. So they lose the dagger. Chewie gets captured. And
Oh, let's talk about that
Yeah,
moment.
so Chewie gets captured, and they're basically taken off with him, and Rey says no.
No. She's like this in the air, trying to stop the ship. And then Kylo Ren is over here, gets out of his ship that's crashed or whatever because of Rey, and he's trying to pull it with the Force. Now, neither one of you, I think, have seen Dark Phoenix. We did a review. You've seen it?
I've seen it.
We did a review of Dark Phoenix. There's a moment in Dark Phoenix when a chopper is like taking off, and Magneto is like this, and Jean Grey is like this, and they're fighting over it, and
Yeah.
they're like looking at each other, and I'm like,
How are they fighting over it? Was one trying to push it away? Because in this one, it was one was trying to pull it down, the other
Yeah.
one was trying to push it away.
it was similar in the fact that they were both standing there. They both had their hands in the air, and they're trying to force something to happen with a ship in the air, and they're just kind of fighting each other with like the Force. And I looked at that, and all I could think of was Dark Phoenix. I'm like, that movie was shit, and you're gonna take something that looked like shit in a shit movie and put it in this movie? I couldn't get past it. I was like, I hate this moment so much.
I didn't like it either because instead of both of them reaching out and trying to pull it down, I would have rather had Kylo like grab it and they're both pushing and he goes and he sends a force
Yeah,
ray
that's what
and
I
hits
was like.
Rey, and when it hits Rey, it fucking takes off. I would have rather had that.
That's why I was thinking. I was like, why doesn't he just hit her with it? But I guess it's a pride thing, and they're like, well, I'm better than you are, but no, I can do it, and it's like an overpowering thing.
Yeah.
Don't try to overpower each other. Just do the smart
the
thing
point,
and hit
though-
her instead.
Yes.
The point was the lightning, though.
I
Yes.
know.
They had to come out with the lightning.
Yes.
And when you saw that, you're like, God damn it.
Yeah,
Alright.
as soon as you
As
see
soon as
the
you see it,
lightning
you're like,
come from her hands,
oh no, they did that.
as soon as you see the lightning come from your hands, they're like, she's a Palpatine.
I know, that pissed me off.
But I still was thinking that she might be a clone. She's not.
I thought she might have been too, because I was like, ooh, it's got in the preview it showed the dark one, and you're like,
I
oh.
was kind of right when I said she's a clone of Palpatine.
Kind of, but somebody had to have sex with Palpatine to have a child, which I don't know.
The
Is it-
timeline messes me up because his baby would have had to have been an infant or his wife would have had to have been pregnant when he died in 3
No.
to have the timeline correct.
No.
Yeah.
You mean 6?
6.
6, sorry.
Not technically. They could just take a sperm and put it with somebody's eggs and put it in a female and then baby.
That sounds very Star Wars.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
why not?
They make clones. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Who are the people in the crowd? Oh, well, we don't need to get there yet.
No.
No.
Okay, so
but yeah,
basically the lightning
the
comes
lightning
out, the
comes
ship
out.
blows up, everyone thinks Chewie's dead. 30 seconds later, you realize Chewie's not dead, so there was no fucking point
I was
doing
really
that.
pissed. If I leaned to her and I was like, they fucking killed Chewie too, I'm gonna be pissed.
I was gonna be mad if they killed Chewie because then I was like, that's
Oh.
like the last original character and he's dead.
Yeah.
Everyone
So-
else is.
They then have to go to a planet to be able to get somebody to hack C-3PO
Yep.
and be able to tell him what is on the inscription of the dagger, because when Chewie got captured, they also took the dagger with them.
Yep.
So they go to this new planet, and it's kind of like a cold mine. Is it a mining planet? I don't know
I
what
don't know.
it
It
is.
was just nighttime there, so you didn't really
Yeah.
get much of the planet.
But it's covered in stormtroopers, except
Yeah.
our they decided to send all 15 of our friendly comrades in there at once, and it was like one person was sneaking around, and I think it was Poe.
It was
Yeah.
Poe.
He was sneaking around and he's watching out, and people are knocking on doors, and he's being safe and everything, and then he turns a corner and there's everybody, and he's like, all right, it's kind of covered in stormtroopers. I'm like,
And
So they didn't
multiple
find them
droids.
the whole time that you were running around?
There's 4 droids and all the people, and you still, it was.
I like the girl that got introduced for Poe's
Yes.
past. He used to be a spice runner,
Yeah.
and he was part of a crew. And immediately when they said crew, I was like, Fast and the Furious. So I liked her character enough because she cared about him, but she was like, fuck you at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
She kind of gave me a Nebula vibe.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know who that actress was. to be
I think it was
honest.
Carrie Russell.
Okay.
But yet, all you saw were her eyes.
At
Some
one
nice
point,
eyes.
and
At
it
one
was
point,
when
yeah.
she was by herself with Poe, and he looked surprised.
Yeah.
He looked surprised when she pulled her mask up to show us her eyes.
Does that hold you off from having to see the Mandalorian's face for a while? You gonna be okay seeing somebody else at least show their eyes?
Fine.
Well, I leaned over and I was like, is this their nod to the Mandalorian that she's wearing a mask and she doesn't show anyone her face?
Maybe. I don't know.
So they
They
get in
hacked 3.
they get in C-3PO's head, and
Yeah.
they said, by the way, if we do this, we're gonna full master reset his ass. And they're like, R2-D2's got the backups for him, and everyone, or C-3PO's like, I don't trust him, and no, that won't work. And immediately they back him up. I mean, he gets restored by R2-D2, and I'm like, what the fuck was the point of? I don't trust him, but then
There was a lot of continuity issues.
But when the Sith language is being spoken, it
Yep.
gave the coordinates of where where they need to be able to go. But they still need.
A little Bobo Frick or whatever.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
That was my favorite character.
He was hilarious.
That
He
little
was.
shit
He
was
was
my
cool.
favorite character.
It was
There's
hilarious.
an X-wing flying at the end, and they're like, "Hey,
Hey,
it's the
look at
girl,"
that!
and he goes, and he's like, "Ebony."
You gotta have something cute in every episode, or in
Um,
every.
And since we're talking about the
Little
one
puppet
thing that I
face,
did
you
like
know.
about it, besides that character, I actually liked and hated at the same time the new little droid, BB-8's friend.
Yes.
He
I-
speaks though, like you don't
I-
have to translate
I liked
it.
and hated him because I liked him because he was cute. And he was like, "No, thank you.
No, thank you, don't touch me."
Yeah, don't touch me. But you can, with the little words that were spoken from him, you can tell he was an abused droid,
Yeah.
and he has trust issues. And he said 4 things the entire movie. The reason I didn't like him is because he told you how to fucking feel at each moment, and it was like,
Sad.
yeah, something
Really?
happens, and then he goes,
You need to tell me I feel
"Sad."
sad from a droid? No, but as soon as he came up and Kayla was like, what's the point of him? And I was like,
And he's like, I was like, we have so many
she
droids
said, what's
already.
the point of him? And I said, he's going to know something.
Yeah.
And it was 40 minutes later, he finally found out what he had.
Yeah, so they end up with the Sith dagger translation from C-3PO, where he was wiped and immediately
Yeah.
restored again. It told him where the next map
Yeah,
piece
the map was.
and they said it's in Palpatine's basically chambers on the old Death Star. But she goes, it tells her that it's on
The
it's
original
on-
Death Star,
Right.
and they have to find they
The
tell them the
Palpatine-
place.
So she goes to
Vault.
the ship
Yes.
to be able to try to get the dagger, right? No,
Yeah.
they go there to get Chewie.
No, no.
At
They
first.
they go to the ship,
And
and
they're still on that planet.
so because they find broken pieces of the original Death Star, which is Palpatine's main lair. And they hold the knife up because they're standing in the.
No. You
No,
skip
you
the
skipped.
whole.
What did I
You
skip?
skipped the whole saving Chewie.
They get on the ship to get Chewie.
yeah.
That's
and
what I was like,
that's
I
how
just
she
told
gets the
Matt
fucking
that she's-
dagger.
That
Okay,
he
okay,
skipped.
sorry.
Because they're still on
Go
that
ahead.
planet
Go ahead.
after they meet and he gets reset and everything.
Okay.
She
And
realizes
then-
that she needs the dagger. So
Right,
She takes,
and Kylo Ren and you see them come in, and so they get down and they're like, Chewie's on that ship, because all of a sudden she can feel that Chewie's on the ship.
Mhm.
So she goes up there with Poe and Finn and try to rescue Chewie, and he's on the ground finding everybody, and I was like, well, this is really anticlimactic at this moment. And did you notice those stormtroopers must suck, because
Oh my
in the
God,
original,
so bad.
it took forever
Chewie
to
picks
kill
up
like
one of their
4.
guns and he immediately two-taps 2 of them. And I'm like, it's not
Right?
the gun that's the
They
problem. That
killed,
proves
like-
that it's the stormtroopers that
I
are
was
that
like,
fucking
they
bad.
killed like 20 in like a less than a minute. But
Yeah.
in the original, they're like in a
So-
battle for like 20 minutes
So
or 3.
Kylo's on the planet looking for him,
Yep.
and they're on the ship.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they end up having their force connection and lightsaber fight.
Still don't completely understand their force connection, to be honest.
Well, they whatever.
It
And so
happens
they start
multiple-
having their
It's just
lightsaber
there.
fight, but it's the lightsaber fight of kind of like across space and time. But she ends up slicing a bag of berries that ends up falling in on the planet where Kylo is, but it falls in the ship. And then when she knocks over, or they knock over accidentally, Darth Vader's helmet,
Yep.
it falls on the ship, but ends up landing on the planet. And because of that bridge in between the two of them, he immediately finds out where they are. So obviously they can't see what's
Right.
around them. They just see that individual.
Yeah.
Right. I still, like, did they ever, and correct me, like, if, in the comics somewhere, if they actually go into detail in one of the episodes that I missed, but, like, they go into detail on how this force connection, because he's a Skywalker and she's a Palpatine, and this all started with a Skywalker and Palpatine, maybe it's because of their bloodlines that's why they're connected so strongly, but, like, I feel like the Force went from, like, okay, here's the Force, and we understand it in episodes 4, 5, and 6. Okay, here's a little bit more in 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're jumping. Oh my God, we're up here. I don't even know where all this Force stuff came from. Like, it went above and beyond what we've ever
They just
expected.
do whatever the fuck they want.
It's just whatever.
They're like, oh, it's an excuse. It's life. It's death.
That doesn't make
There we
sense.
go.
The Force doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. You can't say that every fucking time something doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It'll make sense because of the Force.
And Finn, with no training, all of a sudden can be like, oh,
Yeah, everybody
raised
can-
it. Like,
yeah.
it's like, come on.
Everybody can feel it now. And it's
No
like
training
it's
at all.
It's almost like, oh, I can feel it because this is like,
So-
what is it?
So she gets the dagger.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
gets the dagger.
And they go to this planet, and they pull some Indiana Jones shit, where she immediately pulls out the part of the dagger to line it up with the ship. The thing is, in Indiana Jones, you had to know the exact spot to put
Yes.
the staff. How do they know she was going to be standing on a random cliff overlooking the water and not over here or over here or over
She
here?
would have been like
So that would have
100
matched up
yards
at
in
all.
the other
It made me-
direction, and
it
it wouldn't
annoyed.
have been the same.
It annoyed me. Like, she just holds up the dagger in the perfect spot, and it points to the perfect spot to go. And then she leaves her whole crew behind, and she goes out there in the rough waters, and she makes it in there, and she gets into his safe
She
area.
can fly, too, by the way.
I legit was thinking that when she was climbing and scaling that, and I was like, you levitated the whole beginning of this movie and then like
Yeah,
flipped
first time you
gracefully
see her,
down.
she's like,
just go like this and use the
fucking
force, since apparently that's a new thing we can do.
Zenyatta from
And just
Overwatch.
raise yourself up and just stick yourself up there. You just went through that whole process and exhausted yourself to climb a freaking
Yeah,
Death
She can
Star.
fly. She can fly.
just make yourself fly, because you basically do it all the time anyways.
Well, they go through all this trouble to get the knife, translate it, get there, and she gets it, and she's holding the map to find where Palpatine is, and then Kylo Ren shows up and crushes it.
no, you missed her
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
evil self.
And that was an overwhelming dark side presence upon
Yep.
her. It wasn't because of Ben, it's because of where she's located and
Yep.
everything she's
And his
surrounded by.
connection.
Kind of like when Luke was going into the training on was it Dagobah with Yoda, when he went in and saw himself in Vader's helmet. It was his worst fear, and that was her worst fear,
Yeah.
and it was coming at her. And
It
by
was
the way, I
just
called
so
that, by the way,
fast.
too.
Yeah. It was just
I
so fast.
said, I was like, I'm gonna be pissed if this is just like a vision.
But
And of course it was.
It was such a fast moment. Like, you barely, like, it takes up, like, less than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I did actually enjoy when when she's looking at herself and they're really close and then her teeth go, I was like, okay, that was kind of cool. But other than that, it was such a fast, fleeting moment. Because we already
You didn't
know.
get to really enjoy her
Right.
double lightsaber as much, too.
No.
So
That would have been cool.
she gets what she needs, the map, and then Kylo's just like, whoop, and crushes it.
Nope.
They start having a
You
fight.
gotta go with me.
Yeah, they start having a fight, and the fight is basically just back and forth. Nobody's really in any kind of danger.
Right.
And they end up going outside, water's crashing. Some of the visuals in that, again, visuals of this movie are fine.
Yeah.
The flipping through the water and the waves
Yeah, it
crashing
looked
and
great.
everything like that. It looked fun.
And when she's fighting, Finn, by the way, this whole movie, Finn has been...
Just chases her the whole movie.
chases her the whole movie pretty much, and she doesn't give. I mean, she cares about him, but at the same time, she keeps pushing him away, and he keeps chasing,
Literally.
Yeah. But like he keeps chasing after her, and you can tell you're like, obviously he's in love with her, but I'm like,
He almost tells her.
that wasn't even in the Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, he had the other girl that they tried to force that relationship, and that just went out the window.
Do you think it was a little bit of a cop-out to be able to have a woman exactly the same as him, with exactly the same past as him, magically appear and they become best friends? Where she was like, I'm a former stormtrooper.
I know. And it's just like, okay.
Oh, by the way, I counted. In 8 other movies, we've never heard a female stormtrooper. We heard them 4 times in this movie. So just a heads up.
We
there.
have we've had
Phasma.
female.
Besides Phasma.
Oh, yeah,
Phasma,
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stormtroopers are also
That's because they were all
defecting.
clones.
The stormtroopers are also
Boba
defecting everywhere because I guess I always, from the previous movies, I always thought stormtroopers were clones, and they stopped doing that, and they started just abducting children and brainwashing them and training them. But then there are people that are like defecting stormtroopers all over the world. I'm like, because of the Force.
Finn was special because he didn't want to kill a group of people. And then she goes, no, we had a whole platoon do that.
A whole
Yeah.
group. You're like, oh crap, you're not special at all, dude. You're just one in a million.
I didn't really like what I felt like he was just chasing Rey the whole time for this unresolved, unplanned love interest.
Unrequited love, because
Yeah, it
she
wasn't
don't
just-
like him.
So loud. You guys are so loud.
Sorry.
That's why I told you when you were like,
angry.
I'm louder than you. I'll sit over there. And I was
I'm
like,
just-
yeah, I don't think so.
Oh my god, you guys are so loud.
I just didn't like what they did with Finn's character from the love interest side. It made no sense.
Well,
to me.
they immediately gave him somebody that will work for him, and I consider it kind of wrong of them to be like, former stormtrooper, and she's black. You're okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But
well,
he still wasn't paying attention to her, and she was
No,
like,
he got excited when he heard about that. He gets up there and he's
Yeah.
like, tell me
yeah,
about
but
it. And then she gets up
he
there
still
too.
chased after Rey.
And
But,
by the
like-
way, they were like, it's too dangerous. We can't do this. And she does it because apparently you think she has force capabilities and powers and she's special.
Yeah.
And then immediately behind her, Finn and that girl are there. And I'm
you
like,
didn't see
so...
them struggle with it at all.
Yeah, they're just there.
Yeah.
There was nothing about them. They were just like, there's another skipper. And
Yeah.
that was it.
And
all of
then
a
they
sudden,
climbed that whole thing too to
Yeah.
get up in
Yeah.
the same section
All
as
right.
her.
So the fight between Rey and Kylo Ren was actually a really good fight. I liked it. Like you said, the visual effects were amazing. I love the water. I love the flipping. It all looked great. And then, I guess,
Leia.
Leia.
like, let me go ahead and throw a smoke bomb and distract this bitch so you can kill him. So she distracted Ben.
I don't think it was just like I don't think it was just distracting.
All she does is go, Ben. And then he's like,
But I think that was the first time that she reached out to him. And I don't understand why she waited so long to reach out to him.
Oh yeah, that was the first time reaching out when they had that connection when he was about to blow her up in that ship in the previous movie that just happened.
Yeah, that movie that didn't do well.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, and he stopped from doing that.
Yeah.
So go ahead with your
I just don't understand. Like, I don't think she wanted her son to die though.
What makes you think that was the point in the first place of wanting her son to die?
Well,
what
because
gave you the impression?
You said it was to distract him.
Well,
so
why did
Rey
she do
could
it?
win in the
Why
fight.
did she do it?
I don't know. It's all confusing. The movie makes no sense.
Why did she reach out to him?
I don't
During
know.
that moment.
I don't
Did
know.
she say she was like, I know what I have to do? And
Yeah.
I'm like, she like say his name?
Yeah, I think she goes, Ben.
Ben.
Yeah, and then Rey just goes.
Which, by the way, that was the hate. That was the
Yeah.
evil. That was the shit we've been seeing since I called it the very first time she held the lightsaber. I said you could see the anger and hate in her face.
Yeah.
When she fights people like that. So
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
And then she feels Leia also die in that moment.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
she
that's-
only stopped because she felt Leia die.
Exactly.
Ben stopped because he had that connection with his mother once more.
Yes.
Which one's the shitty person?
But no, what what was it? I was interested in the fact that like she killed him him, and then right after she killed him, she feels Leia gone. And Leia had stopped her training in the first place because she knew something was going to happen to her son.
Yeah.
And she stopped her training. That didn't change anything. Still, he still turned to the dark side.
Yeah.
And then so Rey instantly regrets it as soon as she kills him. Does she regret it?
Stabs him.
Sorry, stabs him. As soon as she stabs him with the lightsaber and he's dying in her arms, she instantly regrets it. And I don't know, is it because of the fact that she felt Leia die in that moment, or is it because she felt the anger and she let it win?
I think that's the reason, but what brought her out of that passion moment was
Leia's
dying.
voice.
Okay.
So Leia
because
dying.
you've seen her in other ones where she's held back in certain moments not to kill someone or something like that. I mean, but I think that Leia brought her out of that hate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To be like, hey, that's not you.
And then this was the second time we see the
She
healing
immediately heals
magical
him.
powers.
Yeah. So.
And then he had mentioned, he was like, "Oh, you didn't take my hand." She's like, "I would have taken Ben's hand," and I'm like, "Okay."
Basically, I would have taken your hand if it was for good.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's not a revelation.
Yeah.
That everyone knows you would have.
Yeah.
Thanks for stating that.
Yeah. I don't know. I still don't. I think people love them together, and I've seen so many people Kylo Ren and Rey together, and in that moment, I'm just like, I don't get this. I don't see their chemistry. I don't get it at all. Hell, I feel like in the first, the 1, 2, and 3, they had more chemistry together than these two did.
The brother and sister.
No, Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker, and sister. Technically, I think also them, but.
I'll get to that later when it went. Yes. At the end, I was like, at least it's not brother and sister this time.
Yes, but it was just I don't see any connection between them before.
I didn't feel
besides
any
the Force connecting.
It was just
them.
two abused dogs in their childhood that find each other.
But
that doesn't mean you love each other.
Right, and the only reason Ben was
means you
abused is because
respect
he
one another.
chose to be abused. He could have stayed with Leia and Han and had probably a decent life, but he chose to be abused by the dark side. But anyways,
Right, so-
moving on.
So basically, after that moment, she decides it's all hope is lost, and she decides to go back to Luke's island.
She
just
thinks that
says,
following his
"Fuck it."
footsteps.
So she
Yeah.
does what Luke did. Besides burning the tree down with the Jedi, she burns Kylo's ship to strand herself there and be in exile. Which I see what you're doing, but don't put yourself on Luke's platform. You ain't Luke, bitch.
That's all they tried to do the whole time, is just make her Luke too, and I think they rushed it. But then I like when she throws her lightsaber, because she's like Luke's lightsaber, tries to throw it in the fire too, and Luke's
You
force
said you liked that?
Luke's force ghost comes up and catches it and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I like that moment.
I liked the moment, but I hated the moment. I liked the moment for, that was cool, but at what cost? Force Ghosts can now grab
things.
objects
I know.
and
but
lift X-Wings out of the water that have been sitting there 30 years and be like, it's still good to go.
Yeah.
You know? What the fuck?
No, I know.
You can have two Force Ghosts with actual lightsabers fighting each other now. You know that, right?
Apparently.
The Force can do whatever the fuck it wants, so...
In this movie, obviously.
Yes. So then they have, a pep talk. And Leia apparently knew the whole time that she was Palpatine's granddaughter.
How?
They felt it.
Yeah, they probably
How
felt
would they
it.
feel
The
that?
Force!
The Force.
Let me look at you and be like, oh, your father is such and such, and your grandfather... I mean, there's no way for somebody to know that.
The Force!
They have history. Those two families have hated each other for quite some time.
These two families, I think that's why they have a Force connection between Rey and Kylo, is because they're a Palpatine and a Skywalker.
It just takes 2-3 generations, and then you can feel everything about another family.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Totally logical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Force.
Yeah.
The Force.
So
It's gonna be our excuse for everything now.
Luke basically says, come on, get your shit together. Why are you just stopping? Don't be like me. I was a mistake. And are you... Ooh.
I don't think that they did justice to any of the original characters from 4, 5, and 6. They didn't do justice to any of them through this entire arc.
You have what you need. So immediately she goes in there and finds out the thing that Kylo crushed. He actually had one in his ship from when he traveled there in the beginning of the movie. And I thought of that off the bat. When she flew off in the ship, I was like, she's already got the fucking coordinates. But at the beginning, when Kylo's flying, you see it right there over his shoulder. It's not in any kind of box. It's not in any kind of anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
But when she goes back to the ship after she burnt it, thank goodness it burned the entire ship except that item.
Yep.
It's like in a little cubby hole, like hidden. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I've been looking for. and plugs it into her X-Wing that has been underwater for 30 years and immediately takes off wearing Luke's actual helmet,
See?
which again pissed me the fuck off.
Luke's helmet had a Resistance logo on the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, did they? Like, I knew he. I said, when did he leave the Resistance?
Yeah.
Like, I knew that. I was like,
I
that
wonder
logo's
between,
on there?
and I still like this. What's funny is when I saw episode 7, I didn't question as much because I was just so excited. But then like when did after episode 6? When did like the First Order even come into play? Because after episode 6, like everything's holly jolly. The Empire's
Watch
destroyed.
The Mandalorian and you'll find out.
I know,
That's what
exactly.
it is.
Exactly. That's what we're starting to watch and everything. But no, I'm interested in that whole timeline because it just, like you said, like the Resistance helmet and everything. But yeah, they tried so much just to make her Luke.
So she's in Red 5, which R2-D2 immediately recognizes because it's fucking R2-D2 and that's his old ship right there. But Red 5 is his original call sign from when he blew up the Death Star the last time around. I caught that one. And then she maps out how to get there for him and leaves little nuggets. Follow these nuggets and you'll get to where I need to get to go. And then everyone was like, all right, well, she's going to need your help. Let's roll. We need to go.
Leia has passed, so she passed the general torch on to Poe. But Poe's like, he's been wanting leadership this whole time. And then he's like, oh, wait, no, let's co-leader with Finn. And so they start co-leading everything and send off
Millennium Falcon and Lando
to get help.
And Chewie.
To bring everyone together.
Yep.
The Empire wins, or the First Order wins, if they make you believe you're alone.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with that message, to be perfectly honest with you. What did piss me off in that same moment was Palpatine going, "This is the last order," not the First Order, the last order.
So the final order.
The final order. That's
final
what it was.
order.
I'm like, that's so bad. That's such bad writing. The final order.
The final order.
Are you kidding me?
All right, so Rey.
And every ship has a fucking.
Yes. So okay.
Yeah.
So we get to
the
Rey.
world-ending cannon.
And why did that planet blow up? Look worse in quality of blowing up.
Oh my God, it did.
Than any other planet
Kobe
we've seen
leaned
blown
over
up.
to me when it happened. He said, "Did that look like the explosion from like the original movies? How bad it looked?" And I was like,
It looked worse.
Yeah, it did.
The
It looked worse.
1970s
The
and
19,
80s.
yeah,
Oh,
he thought it looked like the original,
I thought it
like
looked worse.
blowing up
Yeah, I
in
thought it
miniature
looked
size.
worse.
Yeah.
So she confronts
Namek
Palpatine.
looked better.
She She confronts Palpatine. She gets there and she confronts Palpatine. And they talk about how, like, she has to kill him. And then all the Siths will live in her because the hate has officially taken her over if she kills Palpatine.
No, all the Siths live in him.
Currently.
If she kills him, he will transfer his essence into her. Which, by the way, that is something from the history and lore of Star Wars. But it's never been mentioned in the movies. So it really is disappointing that they're like, by the way, we're going to use this.
It wasn't like any...
You didn't know it was possible.
It was just kind of like, oh, surprise.
And
it's like, wait a minute.
What I would have liked to happen, and this may be jumping a little bit, I would have liked her to get ready to do it, and then Kylo kill him from behind. And
I actually thought that
I thought of that too.
And it starts going into Kylo, and he goes, "Kill me in this."
Yes.
And she has to strike down Kylo to be able to
because
kill
it's not
the
from
Siths
hate, though.
Yes. It's
so I would have liked that better too.
I thought that too. When
Look at
I
that,
was
we're
like,
writers.
Kylo's gonna kill him, and I thought about the same thing.
Yep. So yeah.
We get to see Knights of Ren.
Yo, yeah, they're so fucking amazing. They're so badass. They deserve their own like Disney Plus show.
That pissed me off when they both put their hands behind their head and she passes him the lightsaber.
That pisses you off?
No. What pisses me off, as soon as he pulls the lightsaber out, he goes, like, "Sorry guys, this is how it's gonna go." He just shrugs his shoulders like, "Let's
when he
go."
shrugged his shoulders, he was like, I immediately thought, ta-da.
Oh my God.
That's what so good message.
Stop yelling. The mic is literally in front of you. You guys are
When he
fucking
did that, I
loud.
was like, ta-da, and Kevin started giggling.
I actually did like the fact that like they felt each other, and then because they put Easter eggs in the fact that they could pass stuff from each other in their Force connection. Yeah. So I like the fact that she passed the lightsaber.
Right, I don't have
I like
as
that.
much of a problem with that
But
because that's literally set up and deliver and pay off in the same movie, like everything. Chewie's dead, Chewie's not dead. C-3PO's wife, C-3PO's not wife.
Yeah.
Everything in this movie was set up and immediately set down, just up and down, payoff, 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 payoff.
Yeah,
it was a jerk fest. The only thing that literally did not. Chewie getting his fucking medal pissed me off.
We haven't gotten there yet.
I know, but it pissed me the fuck off.
Okay. So yeah, he's fighting the Knights of Ren, which the Knights of Ren they talk about, but I feel like that's just a complete waste throughout. Did they show up in Last Jedi, but
They
not in
did,
the Force
standing
Awakens?
behind him.
Yeah, they were
like
standing there.
it was just a joke. Like, what's the point of that? Like, whatever. But yeah, he fights them. He gets to Palpatine and Rey, and they're gonna like battle together, and
It's a good visual when they were both standing there and both lightsabers came up right next to them. It was a good visual.
Both were blue.
Yeah.
I was really hoping one would be green.
I thought one would be green too.
It was in the flashback because they were supposed to be Luke and Leia's lightsabers,
Yep.
and in
green and blue.
and in the flashback they were green and blue, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why do they both have blue
That's
lightsabers?
what I said when he.
It's the simplest thing that you could have fixed.
That's why I'm thinking
I'm
we're
like, what the-
overlooking something.
What is that? Why do they not match?
And that would have looked so much better too
It
with the green and
would've.
the blue.
Yeah, because when he gave her Leia's lights, like when he gave her Leia's lightsaber, I was like, it's gonna be the green one,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't. I was like,
Yeah.
Because it's not because in the flashback we saw her with the green.
there's always a green and blue one.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
All right, so Palpatine basically wrecks them by knocking their lightsabers out of the hand
Yep.
and sucking their life
He's like,
energy
oh, by
out
the
of
way,
them.
I can take your life energy.
Yeah, and so but he could only take their life energy because of their connection.
right.
And I'm like, what?
And he said this hasn't been seen in hundreds of years. This connection or something like that.
He didn't put a time frame on, but he hadn't seen this connection, this force connection hadn't been seen in forever. So he's like he's
Pretty
like
sure Luke and
disintegrating.
Leia should have had it.
Exactly.
Right?
But he was
Because
like,
they could visualize to each other. They talked to each other
Yeah.
when they did that.
but like he was disintegrating, and once he started pulling the life force from them, he started regenerating himself.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I don't need to put my essence in you. I can just live again, and just start sucking everything out of them.
Yeah.
And then
Kylo has the more balls than Rey to try to stand up against him, and then gets knocked into a hole.
yeah.
And then Rey.
And he's like, the end of the Skywalker line.
And then he ends up shooting lightning out into the sky, hitting every single ship except his own.
Yeah, because we forgot to mention that all of her friends are out there
I did
fighting
say.
this force that came out of the ice that all have guns that can kill planets, and there's
Yeah.
like hundreds of them. You're like, where did this come from?
I
This
did
came from
like
the ice.
that when they were talking about the ground troop and the the sky or whatever, the different troops they were going to bring in, and when they get up there and they drop the loader off and they're like, jam this, jam their speeders, and they were like, I can't. He said, why? He said, because they don't have speeders. And then you see the
That was a nice
horse.
little-
I was like,
yeah.
oh, that's kind of nice. I didn't expect
It had
that.
a purpose for that other character.
I like that it wasn't something you thought about immediately.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, you jammed the speeders, now you gotta run.
Yeah.
Like, it had a
Has
different thing
has speeder
to it.
ever been jammed in the Star Wars universe
I
in the
don't
movies?
think
Okay,
so.
now second
But hey,
off, that was the original crew. Their plan
everything
was to
changes.
land on the ground and take out the tower on the ground. So they were
Yeah.
going to get there with their horses
Yeah.
and run across towards it to knock that out.
Because they didn't have any troops on the ground. Everybody was up in
Yeah.
the destroyers or whatever.
Yeah. So they're fighting in the sky and trying to destroy these ships and everything, and then Rey's down there, and Rey rolls over and like looks up and sees all Palpatine's lightning basically killing all of her friends.
And she looks past it all.
And she does. She
She's like,
asks.
I'm just gonna ignore
she's
all
like-
my friends dying up there and go stare at the stars.
She's reaching out beyond everything happening in her life to be able to reach out to everything in the past.
all the Jedi.
Because
Yeah.
now she can hear them.
What voice got
Samuel L. Jackson.
I heard all of them.
you? Qui-Gon is what got
Qui-Gon
me.
is what got me.
Yeah, got you too?
I
Yeah.
leaned over and I was
I
like,
heard
"Is
Samuel."
Qui-Gon
I obviously Luke and Yoda, Samuel L. Jackson's
You heard
character.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah, you heard all of the
Qui-Gon hit me.
Qui-Gon
Yeah.
got me. Because
Oh.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, all the old Jedi start speaking
Apparently
to
I
her.
heard Anakin's.
I heard Anakin.
And he said, bring balance the way I did, or something like that,
I
which
didn't
is
hear
a
that.
line you should not say from
No.
Anakin Skywalker.
I didn't hear Anakin say. I heard Anakin's voice, but there were a lot going on. So I
Yeah,
didn't
there was
focus
a lot.
on
I'd
this. I
have
just
to
heard
watch.
it.
I'd have to hear all the voices again to
Yeah.
be able to pick them all out. It was just so much at once. I wish they would have like maybe like slowed it down a little bit so I could hear each voice.
But
and
they
be like,
wanted
okay,
to
that's
get all
this,
of them
this,
in
yeah.
there for you. But they also did a couple multiple times.
Yeah. So yeah, she now is connected with the Jedi.
Connected with the. Can you say Jedi?
Yeah.
How come no Jedi has been able to connect and have every Jedi live in her?
Because they needed it at that
And
moment.
that's what she was meditating at the beginning.
Samuel L.
so
Jackson
she could hear
whispers,
all the Jedi.
"This is how you bounce electricity against him. He fucking hates that." So she stands up and she's like, "Huh!"
Yeah, and he's like trying to like shock her, and she's holding up her lightsaber, and then she pulls out the other one. It's Wonder Woman style or Wakanda, however you want to do it.
It felt like Dragon Ball Z. It felt like a
It
beam
did.
battle on
It
Dragon
did.
Ball Z.
And so she's
That's why it would have looked so good with green and blue.
yes,
Right?
instead of both blues. So she's holding up both lightsabers in this X, and she's pushing his lightning back to him and stuff, and then he disintegrates.
That sucks to die the same way twice.
I would have
You
rather.
think you learned the first time. Just stop it.
I think they could have done so much with the lightsabers themselves.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Kylo's cross lightsaber be a blue or a green. Like, for instance, a green one, if it would have been Leia's, if Rey and him were fighting on that water planet, and when she took off, or for some reason when he got injured and she took off, she decides to give up on the Jedi again and go on the exclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to throw her lightsaber in the fire. Instead of throwing it in the fire then, I could see her just giving up on everything and dropping the lightsaber for Kylo. But Kylo then picks it up and he takes Leia's crystal out and puts it in his. And goes there to finish what she's not willing to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That would have been great to be able to
he
see
could
the
have.
crossing.
Yeah, if
as
she
well.
had thrown it, he could have used their little connection thingy and grabbed it.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
So
that
yeah,
happens
she
now.
kills Palpatine. And they destroy all the ships.
Palpatine kills himself.
Yeah,
He's horrible at continuing
because
to shoot
she
lightning.
can't kill him because then she would absorb him.
Right.
So he has to kill himself.
Right.
Is that really how it ended like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on to the next part of.
Carlo is like, she falls to the ground and she's like,
She's dead.
She's
Straight
dead.
up dead.
She's dead. There's like her eyes
There's
are wide
no-
open. She's dead.
There's no
and
question about
Kylo survived the Force.
I leaned
throw.
over to Kobe and I go, "Motherfucker, he's gonna give
gonna-
himself
I know
up to heal her."
Yep.
I
knew that was
like
gonna
so when
happen.
he heals her because we could be. I leaned to her and I was like, so the Jedi or the Force can bring people back
Yes.
from the dead. So this entire series is pointless because if Anakin could bring back Padme from the dead after she gave birth, then there's no reason he should have turned to the dark side and none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
Maybe he learned the
then
tragedy of Plagueis the Wise.
Oh my god.
And then
Palpatine,
I
that's why
told
he
her,
can
I
do it.
said, but Palpatine, why would Palpatine tell him that? Palpatine's gonna be like, oh, come over to me and I can keep
So he
you
just
alive forever
sacrificed
as a
himself
creepy
to save
zombie
her, so they're
thing.
both awake, and then
They're
they
both
have
awake at this
the
moment.
most awkward.
Oh my god.
I like looked at her. I was like, "Please don't kiss. Please don't kiss. Please don't
I
kiss."
was
And then
so
they
pissed.
kiss, and I'm like,
so mad.
So
it would. And I looked, and I'm like, it was so
It was awful.
forced,
I didn't
and
like
I don't
it.
have. I don't see any chemistry between them. I don't understand.
You see him getting close, and I'm like, I said,
please don't do
I
it,
said,
please don't do
no,
it, please don't do
no,
it.
no,
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 no.
A
no.
hug.
And then it happened, and I heard somebody cheer in the back, and I said, no.
Yeah.
Ew.
I felt like it was something because I had watched one of the 1970 movies with Mom recently, and back then the only reason for like a female character was basically to be a love interest, and
Yeah.
that's what I felt like this moment was. This felt like we just
She
went
didn't
back
need a love
50
interest.
years and was like, oh, this moment deserves a kiss. Like we've built up to this moment, and it was like, no, there's no reason for them to kiss right now
Because he was dying.
but she didn't know
apparently.
that, and it's just like it was so gross and
They
pointless.
felt that
and
tension through the whole
stupid.
movie, and they tried to make it a love, like an angsty tension.
And it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
I hated it.
I didn't like
And
it.
then he dies,
And-
and he immediately disappears. Why didn't she immediately disappear?
Okay. Two things on that. That is a great point. Why didn't she disappear?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But
Because
the
all
other
the
thing
Jedis
is-
just disappeared.
Not every fucking Jedi disappears. Just because he turned to the good side doesn't mean he vanishes.
Yeah.
Why didn't Qui-Gon vanish?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot.
I don't understand.
It's something you have to be trained. Literally, Yoda taught Obi-Wan how to be able to do it. And he didn't get training for fucking Yoda. But this emo bitch learns how to do it without any training. Just instantly becomes one with the Force. Are you what?
because he's a Skywalker, sure.
Can
why
everybody
not?
just
Right.
become one with the Force instantly? There's
It-
no backstory to
it-
it. It's just
I
like
hate
he
it.
deserves it. Is it a reward? Did you do enough to become
Well,
one
like
with
I
the
said,
Force?
Finn all of a sudden knows how to use the Force, even
Yeah,
though
'cause
he never had any training
He
at all.
automatically felt that she died.
Yeah.
And he was like, Ray.
He's like, Ray.
It's like, oh my gosh, she's
And it's
dead.
like, how on earth did he know that she died? He has no experience with the Force except seeing Rey use
I think the only
she
thing
never even told him like Luke did with the whole life and balance and death and when
the
they
only
did
thing
the
that
training
they
thing.
led into that for
Was
the
nothing.
Force being so widespread now was at the end of The Last Jedi, where the little kid brings the broom to him, and you're just like, why does that little kid do that? How can he do that? And it kind of got you interested, like, how can that little kid, does that little kid have training? Is that kid part of a magical
It's another
family line?
Palpatine seed.
Oh my god. And
Because
then,
apparently we can just inseminate people now.
yeah. But it makes no sense. So he dies. And at the same time he disappears, Leia disappears.
Which makes
She hung around for him.
Yeah. I think she had a thread of life still in her. And it was just to hold on to him. And
To
they
walk
left
him
together.
into the light.
Sure.
maybe it had something to do with when she died and when Rey stabbed her.
So they all go back,
Yeah.
and they're all celebrating,
Yeah.
and then somebody out of left field is like, I found an old medal for you, Chewbacca. I know people have bitched about this on the internet for 40 years. It's the exact same medal. Han would have liked you to have it. You know, that kind of shit. No.
And it wasn't even like an important person that gave it
It was
to
just
him.
some random
It was
dude that was
some
like, look what I
random
found. I think you would
person.
like this.
Like, why would
I
Leia
know.
not give it to him
I felt
if
bad
she
for
had it?
Chewie. Chewie lost everyone.
Yeah. And when he found out that Leia died, he, like, that was sad.
That was sad to me. That broke my heart.
He just
But
broke
when-
down
That was
crying.
the most emotional part of the
It
movie.
was.
It was.
Chewie's reaction to Leia passing.
Well, everybody's reaction when Leia's passing, because, I mean,
yeah.
everybody cried when they did it, when she died.
Mm-hmm.
Dad.
Dad.
That
I
country
said it,
accent.
yeah. Dad.
So they're all celebrating and everything, and so there's a big thing about how, and you guys probably don't know this, but there's big articles about how there's this big, LGBTQ kiss in it and everything, and it's literally in this giant panoramic video, and you just see these two girls kiss real fast and move on. And it was like, they were so proud of putting that in there and being diverse, and I'm like, you can't advertise that. It was just sitting there in the background. Like, that makes no, you didn't do anything special for that.
Again, I don't have a problem with any of
I
that.
don't have
But
a
when
problem.
I saw it,
I
I
don't
had
pay
more of a
attention
problem
to
with
it.
them trying to force somebody exactly like Finn
Oh,
to be
yeah.
Finn's love
Yeah.
interest.
No.
This is a black former stormtrooper.
Yeah.
She's just like you in your
Exactly.
age bracket, bro.
Exactly.
In
You want
every
she can
single-
ride
Oh,
a
no.
horse. Wink, wink.
No, but what even was weird and creepy is like Lando is sitting there and that
Oh.
girl sitting
Oh.
next to him, and he
Yeah.
goes, she's like, "Where are you
That
from?" And he
was
says, "Where
weird.
he's from." He's like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "I don't know." He's like, "You want to find out?" I'm like, was he hitting on her, or is this a setup for a Disney Plus show?
It's got to be a
Like,
setup
what?
for something off.
Like,
Yeah,
that was the
that felt a little weird.
setup.
I wasn't
It-
sure if I was the only one that
It
felt that.
felt
No, it felt really
awkward,
weird.
and it was like that was the end. That was his last line. You want to find out? I was like, what? Like,
It was a really
Take you to
weird
Cloud9 City.
it was
line.
horrible.
Did you also notice that when she was in Kylo's like quarters or
Yeah.
whatever with the helmet
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she was
yeah.
getting the dagger,
Yeah.
I leaned over and I was like, this looks a lot like the Sky City, like all the white and the
Mhm.
layers and all the like different. I was like, this looks a lot.
It's amazing
like
a
that.
guy who lives in the dark side and loves dressing all in black. His room is 100% white.
Yeah.
So very end, we see Rey go back to Luke's home that he grew up in, and she has
Both their lightsabers.
She has both their lightsabers, and she like folds them all up nice, and she like sinks them down into the sand. And then someone asks her who she is, and she's never been able to give her
She pulled
last
out her
name.
lightsaber.
She did pull out her lightsaber, which was yellow,
It was different.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yellow.
Usually those are, I think the two different reasons for yellow. One was they're a trainer, so what they do is they train new generations. And number two is the Gray Jedi, which I think that's exactly
Yeah, a
what
mix.
it was. A nod
Yes,
in between
to both
the
sides
two.
of her.
Yeah.
But they asked her last name, and she was like Rey Skywalker, because you see Luke and Leia over
Well,
there,
and
and I'm
that's-
like, no.
And that also is
No.
from earlier in the movie when somebody asked her what her name was at
Yeah.
that festival, and,
And
she
she
said
she
it's
didn't
just
know.
Rey.
It's just Rey. She could be just Rey. I absolutely hate the fact that she was like, I'm
Well,
a Skywalker now. It's like,
Obi-Wan
no,
was
you're not.
Obi-Wan was just Obi-Wan on that planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, why? I understand the
And who
importance
cleaned
of-
up the skeletons of his uncle? and his aunt.
They're just buried in the sand.
I was about to say there's a lot of sand.
I absolutely did not like the fact that she's
She
like
sits
now
on a little
Skywalker.
like shield and slides down. I'm like, you could fucking fly.
Well,
Stop doing knockbacks to the
she
first
did it
one.
because they were like, she didn't have any worries besides feeding herself in the beginning, and it's just taking you back to the beginning when she slid down the things.
Do you guys not have a problem with the fact that her name is now Rey Skywalker?
No.
Not
No?
really.
No.
Really?
Because she thought of Luke as a father figure, and she thought of Leia as a mother figure.
I don't think Luke is a father figure, more of a mentor.
And Han was, because Han was more of a father figure to her. She loved Han.
Rey Solo.
But
That would have
it's
made
still
that
that
kiss a
family.
little more
Oh,
awkward.
Would
yeah.
have been. But she
I don't know if you
loved
can
all
get
of
more.
them.
And
I know
Kobe's
she
like,
gets it, but-
I leaned down and was like, they're going to do the double sun shot to
Yeah,
be able
of
to end
course.
it. And they showed one angle, and he goes, there it is. I go, no, not yet. And then it cuts to the actual one. I'm like, that's the one.
That's
there
the
it
one.
is. They got to give you that
Yeah.
nostalgia jerk off
Yeah,
one
I
more
just-
time.
So overall, I guess we're gonna wrap this up here.
Yeah.
I would probably say I can't decide which one I hate more. The Last Jedi.
Hates is a strong word.
Fine.
Don't turn to the dark
Hates
side.
Yeah.
Sorry. Which one I dislike more and is on the bottom of my list? The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker? They like
Okay, so you weren't a fan of either?
I-
So I'd like a grade, please, or a number or something.
on this movie.
Yes.
This movie, I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay. Go.
That's pretty fair. I
Go
was
other
going to
S.
go in that area, too.
What's your grade?
I was going to do like a... I was going to say 6.5 or 6.
Our dad, who is from the original generation of Star Wars, gave it a 7.
Okay. So, me?
Yeah, negative Nancy over here, and if,
I'm going to give it a school grade rating, like I always like.
I thought you would go down to like 4 over there.
Oh,
but no, he does ABC.
Oh, okay.
It is the worst Star Wars I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It is an F.
Even worse than the
It's
first,
an F?
the prequel?
I'm mad that I have to go back tomorrow to take my kids. I'm mad about this movie.
You're gonna find even more
It
things
is.
to nitpick.
It is an
He's
F.
gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
As a
gonna
Star
go in
Wars
there
fan,
and make a list as he's watching this.
And
I once
This is
thought about
stupid.
that halfway through. I started laughing. I felt like the fucking Joker in that theater.
I laughed at one part. I can't remember what part it was, but it was not
There
a
was
part you
so
should
much
laugh
that
at.
pissed me off. I don't need Disney to reach through a screen and nostalgia jerk me off the entire time. I want an actual story.
Yeah.
This had no story.
I don't mind a few
Last one
nostalgic
didn't have
It was
story.
just
It was
like,
a lot.
ha, 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 ha. You remember?
It was a mess.
I remember.
It was,
I remember.
it was like, we're gonna go this way, then we're gonna go this way, then we're gonna go this way. Oh, don't forget this. Oh, let's pull from this here too.
It made me respect the prequels so much
The
more.
prequels are so good, guys.
Which is so weird.
Because you
I've
could see
always
the
liked
prequels
the
had a
prequels.
story and it had a plan from beginning to end.
Yes,
And it didn't try
this
to.
did not have a plan.
This just felt like, okay, we're gonna go and try to find this map thing. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it. Oh, by the way, it's destroyed. But you can have this one instead that you haven't been searching for.
It
And
just
wasted the whole half of the first
I
movie
felt like
trying to find that one thing that doesn't matter anymore.
episode 8 and episode 9 were a complete waste of time.
9 was a C minus D plus for me.
You mean 8?
Yeah, 8,
Eight.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this one's an F, yes.
Yeah, this one it's not doing well. I think we're both going to be right, by the way, it being under 200.
I'm pretty sure you said over.
No, we both said under.
Okay.
But yeah, it's nice to know that it's coming to an end and that Kathleen Kennedy is
and for now.
yeah. Well, no, Kathleen Kennedy is no longer
Predictions
in
on
charge.
the future. Yeah, and she shouldn't be because that pissed me the fuck off.
So she's finishing up her contract, and hopefully we're gonna get
Kylo.
no Jon Favreau in her position, who's running the Mandalorian, who feels more Star Wars.
It does.
The Old Republic is rumored to be the next, I don't know if it's movie or series. If they make it one movie, it's going to feel as tightly wound as what this fucker was. So I hope they make a trilogy of the Old Republic and they have the actual story of Revan in there with Keanu Reeves as Revan. Oh my god, that would bring me back. But
Do you think they'll use some of this crazy Force stuff that we found out about in this movie?
So mad.
I just hope the only thing I hope is that they do a better job of planning. The one issue
She's not in charge anymore,
No,
so
she's
they
not.
will.
The one issue that you can take everything, all the issues that we have with this movie and this trilogy, you can take it back to planning. They did not plan this properly. And as people who grew up on Star Wars and love the movies,
I mean, we
this
could
was a
quote
complete.
those movies.
This is a complete disappointment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is our official review on The Rise of Skywalker. Go see it if you want, or pirate it, or because I don't want it to make money.
Oh, wow. It's more of a movie for somebody who's interested in Star Wars that knows nothing of the history of lore. If you want an entertaining, fun film, or if you're a child that plays Fortnite, this movie would be enjoyable for you.
If you're an actual fan of Star Wars, you're going to be pissed off after you watch this movie.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things. Oh, my God. Yeah.
So, there you go.
Let's go celebrate
That's
our Christmas.
review. Let's go have Christmas, guys.
Woo!